How to make mini beanie. Our mini beanie DIY kit comes with merino wool yarn, knitting needles, and instructions. First thing we're going to do is make a slip knot. This is how we start any knitting project. When you're done with your slip knot, you put it on the needle and start casting on. The process of casting on can be broken down into very simple steps. Insert the needle, yarn over, put the yarn through the loop, twist, and put it back on the needle. In, yarn over, pull it through the loop, twist, and put it back on the needle. In, yarn over, pull it through the loop, give it a twist, and put it back on the needle. Make sure you always do all these steps in the same direction. There are different methods to cast on. This one is called knitted cast on, and this is a preferred method for a beanie that uses a rib stitch, such as this style. In, yarn over, pull it through the loop, twist, and put it back on the needle. Don't pull it too tight. So when you're done casting on, make sure that all the stitches are facing in the same direction and there's no twist. If there's a twist, that's a mistake and you will need to take everything out and unravel and start over. So make sure all your stitches are facing in the same direction. We start knitting. Insert the needle, wrap the yarn around, pull it through the loop, and take it off the needle. So we just connected our first round. We're going to purl next. You can see that for the purl, so when we go from knit to purl and from purl to knit, we always need to make sure we change the direction of the yarn. So for purl, the yarn is in front of you. You wrap it around the needle, you push it out and take it off the needle. Now for the knit stitch, we change the direction. The yarn is in the back. In, yarn over, pull it through, and take it off. Now purl, change the direction. In, yarn over, pull it through, take it off, change the direction. In, yarn over, pull it through, change the direction. In, yarn over, push it out, change the direction. In, yarn over, out. When you've knitted the required number of rounds, so you should always double check to make sure you have the right number. The tail end marks the beginning of every round, so we want to just double check. So count the number of stitches. We're counting these diagonal lines that are going all the way up. Don't count the first one, that's part of your cast on, but counting with the second diagonal line all the way up, all the way, including the one on the needle, that would be the last one that you count. Then for the last round, you knit one, you purl 3 stitches together. What does that mean? P3TOG. It means that you're going to insert the needle not through 1, not through 2, but through 3 stitches at the same time. And then you yarn over and push the needle out. Okay, so the next stitch is just a knit. We change the direction, yarn over, knit, and then we're back to P3 together. So change the direction, push the needle through 3 stitches, yarn over, push it through, and take it off the needle. Change the direction to get ready for the knit. Knit 1, change the direction again, and purl 3 together. Knitting or purling multiple stitches together is a little bit more difficult than just going through one stitch because the stitches are a little bit tight, but you just have to get through that one round. And so we knit 1 and then purl 3 together. We're almost at the end there, so knit again, P3 together. You know you're at the end when you see the tail. So when you're done with your last stitch in this round, you want to leave about 6 or 8 inches of yarn, and then you can cut it. And then what you do here, you take the tail end and you put it through every stitch, 1 stitch at a time, and then you take it off the needle. Now it's safe. If you were to just pull the needle out, the whole thing would unravel. So we just keep moving the stitches around, and we are taking them off the needle one by one by pulling that, well, basically threading that tail end through every stitch. When you're done with your last one, you take the needle out. Then you can see that opening. So we're going to put the yarn all the way to make sure it's completely closed. Then we just need to secure it. So I like to just kind of just make a little knot. You can make an extra one. And then you take the tail end and you push it to the inside of the head. Like so. So this way you don't see it on the outside, only on the inside. And then here you don't really need the tail to be this long. So you can take scissors and cut it. Leaving about a couple inches is sufficient. And then you're going to weave it in. So just tucking it in between the stitches, just hiding it so it doesn't come out. And make sure everything looks nice and clean. When you're done, you want to weave in the other end. It's the same here. If it's too long, you can trim it. If it's only a few inches, you can leave it as is and just carefully weaving it in between the stitches. It doesn't really matter which direction you go in, as long as everything looks nice and clean and the tail end is secure. So that's enough for it not to come out and unravel. Looks nice and clean, and you're done with your mini beanie.